Welcome back to Global TV Talk Show. I'm in San Diego, and a very special guest today, coming to us from Phoenix, is Stephen Howard, the creator of Humany. What is Humany? It's a mindset. It launched into a book and speaking engagements, and I have note takers galore joining us here, as everybody is interested. So, Stephen Howard, welcome.
Thank you, Ed. Good to see you. Ron, Ken.
Good to be
Great,
with you,
thank
Stephen.
you. All right, so this particular program honors and uh, brings focus to Humany Mindset. I'm going to read this. Humany Mindset for the workplaces. As my role as editor and publisher of Global Business News, I recognize people and companies that are doing extraordinary things. I'm not getting paid to say this. This is an honest feeling, and it just is a natural feeling for me. I'm really happy to be able to do this and to recognize a number of people and companies, originally just starting off to early January. It's now taking the whole month and even expanding into February. People are communicating in unique ways. What Stephen Howard has done is he's created a mindset, a methodology, a reason of being. So this is a Communicator Award recognizing Stephen Howard for establishing Humany Mindset for the workplaces, the why, the what, the how to do it, how to get it done, how to experience it. Welcome, Stephen Howard.
Thank you, Ed. Thank you very much. Glad to
We
be
want
here.
to talk about the awards that you've won. Please don't be shy. Um, you're being recognized by authors, by Amazon, and by organizations for this unique work. How did you wake up one day and come with this idea?
Well, that's a great question, Ed. I actually didn't wake up with it. I was actually sitting on my balcony in Mexico City, having a glass of red wine and watching the sun go down behind the little mountain near where we lived. And I was thinking about COVID, and this is during COVID, and how coming out of COVID, leadership needed to change and how leadership needed to be more people focused. And I wrote down the word human. And I started thinking we lead human beings. We don't lead assets. We don't lead resources. We lead human beings. We lead people. And then for some reason, I just paused and thought just how wonderful it was where I was. It was quiet, peaceful. I just felt like my life was in harmony at the moment. So I wrote the word harmony on the paper, and then I just added the word humanity in there somewhere during my thinking and created played around with the words and came with the idea of humany, Humony, as a mindset, as a way of first for leading people, and now Humany Mindset. I've extended it into our interpersonal relationships with everybody and how we interact with one another as human beings. So it's gone beyond the workplace now.
Ron, what do you think of that idea?
Oh, I think it's totally in alignment with culture, what we represent. Stephen and I have talked about this in the past, harmony. And doesn't mean, from my perspective, everything is going to be absolutely good. What it does mean for me is people and processes are in place to where if we are out of balance with each other, we purpose to reconstruct, reunite, get back with each other. I do believe that we're almost continuously out of balance, but we will purpose to do what we can to be in balance. And the more we can get along well with each other, actually, we're in harmony with each other. Actually, we can talk with each other, compare notes and perspectives. When we're able to do that, we're going to have a very cohesive team.
Ken?
Oh, absolutely agreed. And if the Humany mindset can truly be incorporated into the minds of individuals across the organization, whether they're in leadership positions or dealing with members of their team, but truly incorporate it, believe it, follow it, and behave in a way that reflects that mindset, everybody is going to win. It's going to be just a win in terms of productivity, performance, satisfaction, commitment. All of those factors will go up because people are treating each other with respect and trust and listening and communicating honestly and fairly. It's a wonderful mindset to have across an organization.
So, Stephen, the managers, the leaders that you're speaking with in your coaching business and your speaking business, is it a no-brainer to them? Do they buy into what you're saying right away and ask about uh, presenting it to the workforces?
They buy into the concept because it's hard to argue against the concept, but then they start coming with all the reasons why it won't work in their organization, or they don't have time for it, or they worry about being too soft as a leader, coming across as being too soft. So it takes several conversations with leaders to explain to them, for them to fully grasp it. You know what? This actually produces results, and this reduces employee turnover, and this reduces drama in the workplace. And when I start asking people, just look over your last 2 weeks. How much time have you spent trying to solve drama and conflict within your team or between your team and some other department in the organization? And they just shake their head and always say too much time. Well, this can lead to productivity because you're not wasting time fixing interpersonal problems in the workplace when you've got people who are willing to cooperate with each other, willing, as Ken said, willing to be openly communicating with each other and being authentic with each other and not criticizing each other. Makes for a great different workplace, and it produces results.
Do you see less competitiveness across staff, across leadership cells? Less competitiveness, more sharing, uh, I don't know, a quote unquote soft skill. No, that's a when things aren't going right, it becomes a real hard quantifiable loss.
You
So
see more
it's
team
not
bonding.
soft.
Yeah, Ed, you see more team bonding, and you see less conflict. You see people being willing to go the extra mile for one another rather than saying, well, hey, that's Ken's responsibility. I'm not going to do that. Why should I pick up the slack? Ken should be handling that. So you see a lot more cooperative, but it's not just the work that's cooperative. You get people thinking and bouncing ideas off each other, and you get innovative thinking, creativity, and new ideas for how to do things, and that's really where your future lies. Because as a business, you're not really going to grow your business by having the same product year after year after year without some enhancements to it, and or enhancement to your service. So those are the benefits of it.
So you're right about the power of five. What is that?
Well, this is more on the Humany mindset, the more for the public, if you will, rather than just in leadership. Although it applies in the business world, it's just if you have the intention of going out and intentionally interacting positively with five people. So whether that's opening the door for somebody, you see something in a lane shopping, you're at Target, and person behind you only has two items, you let them go in front of you, just five things. And if those five people, for whatever reason, subconsciously, they go out and have nice interactions with five other people, that's now 30 people. And if those 30 people go out and have five interactions, that's 150 plus the 30. Now you're up to 180 people. You escalate that two more times, you end up with like 3,600 people having positive interactions in the course of a day. And then multiply that by 7 days a week. And now you're up to, 25,000 a week. And then multiply that by 52 weeks, and you're up in the hundreds of thousands. So that's the power of five, and just intentionally going out and having positive interactions. And You know, Ed, when I lived in Mexico City and I would go for my morning walk, everyone in Mexico City will say hello to each other. It doesn't matter if they're the gardener, it doesn't matter if they're the housekeeper taking the kids to the park, or if it's another adult, working person. Everyone looks at one another, makes eye contact, and says, Buenos dias. And here in America, when I go out for a walk here, people are either on their phone or if they're not, their heads are down. They don't want to make eye contact. And so there's no positive interaction. You just feel like you want to get past that other person as quickly as possible and go on with your life. There's no interaction. Well, I now purposely, when people do that, and they were like 3, 4 feet in front of me, I would look at them and say, "Good morning." And some people get startled. Some people like hurry up and walk away quickly because they didn't expect that. Other people stop and say, "Well, thank you. Good morning to you." And so that's just one way of having a positive interaction with another human being.
I have to do that more often. Ken, how many times do you do that a day?
Well, I could bring in a witness. My wife says when we go on our walks, I'm Mr. Chatty. I say hi and hello to everybody. I just think that's, if you will, part of being human. And it doesn't matter what they're doing. Just, hey, good morning, how are you? And they respond. They people are like, oh, I'm being recognized. And 5 times 5 times 5, take it all the way out. So yeah, I think that's right. The only thing, why do people walk with their heads down around a lot of these neighborhoods? Very honestly, the sidewalks are in terrible condition. You gotta watch. You're gonna end up flat on your face. I hate to say it, but you gotta be careful out there. Falling is the enemy. So you can still say hi to everybody. Just watch where the heck you're going as well. Just be careful.
Especially if you find a crack there, you one person about that crack.
Yeah.
Ron.
I think part of the mindset is I'm perceiving being willing to give even if you don't get anything in return. That is, be willing to say hello, start a conversation, even if the person kind of snarls back or meets you, something other than with the greeting that you intended. Some people just off to a bad start. Some people just are fundamentally unhappy. But I think as we project positivity, as we project upbeat, we're going to find those who say, I just feel better for being around the Stevens, the Kens, the Eds of the world, because, man, it just seems like there's always something upbeat about them. I find it hard to believe that there's not something negative in their life, but at least it's not they're not exuding the negativity right now.
So, Stephen, I want to ask you to move to the left or the right so people out there can look at this artwork behind you. And this is a book cover, right?
It's artwork taken for the book cover. I used AI, admittedly, to create a little Zoom background for conversation like this. I'm also creating a slew of videos. I've just launched the Humany Mindset YouTube channel this week, and so this is the background I use when I'm talking on my YouTube channel about Humany Mindset and various aspects of it. So, but yeah, the main thing in the middle there is from the book cover, and the type font is the same as the book cover. So I used AI to produce this and took all of about 45 seconds.
So how did you use AI? Did you just say, are you using Gemini or what?
I use ChatGPT and as a paid subscriber, and I just uploaded the book cover and I said, please create a Zoom background image using this image. It came up first. It had Humany Mindset across the top, which looked okay. And I said, okay, now great. Put the word Humany on the left and Mindset on the right. And of course, the first time I did that, I left the T off of Mindset. So I had to go, hey, you left the T off. I made a mistake. And so I just played around with it. It took me about 3 iterations to get this version of it. I still kept the one with Humany Mindset across the top just to have something a little different as well. So,
okay, if you could move to the right or the left again, and let's look inside that person's head. What is that? That's a tree of life?
that's the tree of life. And part of the message of Humany Mindset is that we have so much in common. And also, if you look carefully at the arms on the person there, the arms are the DNA double helix, because, we have something like 99.9% genetically similar to everybody else on this planet. And so it incorporates the DNA double helix. And then the tree of life has been in many of the world's mythologies, religions, philosophical traditions. So I've incorporated that. And then just to finish the background here, the halo that you see, the ring halo there, comes from the Native American Indian tribes, Navajo and Hopi specifically, who had special meaning to rainbows that were around the sun. They called it a rainbow sundog. And each color represents the different people of the world. And when the rainbow comes around the sun, it signals both a time of change and a time of unity. So that's the symbology of that book cover.
So it's beautiful to look at as well as meaningful.
Yeah, yeah.
So how many pages did you create there on that topic
In the
that
book?
book? Yeah.
Oh, I don't know. Let's see. That book is about 250 pages. And then I wrote a subsequent book, a complementary book to it called Humany Mindset Quotes, which is about 800 quotes regarding the various topics in the Humany Mindset book. And that one's about 180 pages. So,
Right. And so yesterday I signed up, I registered on your YouTube,
well, thank you very much.
and everybody out there should. What's your YouTube channel?
It's youtube.com backstroke and then just use the @ Humany Mindset, or you can just go to YouTube and do a search on Humany Mindset. It'll come up for you.
Great. So, okay, now you've had some speaking engagements on this topic. I know you're seeking more, but you've already had some. And
I've had a few, yeah.
yeah. Now, when you bring this topic up, how immersive do you get the audience? Or do you just talk with them about it and leave it at that? Or do you ask for feedback?
I have a story. If you'd like, I can share with you. It takes about 90 seconds, maybe a little less. But
Sure.
and when I tell that story, the audience good portion of the audience, all kinds of sits back and goes, whoa. And it resonates with them. And the story is very simple. I mean, here in Arizona, and I think California as well, when, Arizona has a little homeless, not as much as California or other areas, but, we'll see people in the left-hand turn lane, the divider is there, and they'll have their signs out, cardboard signs, asking for donations or money and whatever. And unfortunately, in Arizona, I've heard people refer to them as left lane losers. And that's our mindset for many people. When we see a homeless person, most people immediately think, well, that person's lazy, the drug addict, filthy, all kinds of negative connotations with somebody being homeless. And when I was thinking about this concept and I've thought about that, I realized that I'll be honest with you, if life ever put me on the streets homeless and I had no family support, I don't think I could do that. I'll be honest with you, I would take a bottle of Venezuelan rum and a handful of sleeping pills and say, thank you, I've had a good life, had some great experiences, but I don't think I have the strength to be homeless. So now when I see a homeless person, I look at them and think they're resilient, that they have fortitude, they have the strength to get up every day and continue to live. Whereas I will admit, I would be a weakling. I'm a coward. I would, like I said, take some pills and say goodbye. That's a mindset change. And when I tell that to an audience, a little longer version of that, again, they just sit there and go, wow. Because they all think, yeah, that's what I think too. And so just changing your mindset will change the way you interact with those people. So even now, when look, I admit, I have not lived a Humany mindset my entire life. This is something I came up with a few years ago, and I've been changing the way I interact with people. But now if I see a homeless person, even if I don't donate any money, if I'm sitting like in the back of an Uber and see it, I'll at least acknowledge them. I'll look at them. I'll smile. I'll acknowledge. And if I'm walking and I see a homeless person, I'll at least make eye contact and acknowledge their existence. And if nothing else, that at least shows that I recognize them as a human being. And that is a huge mindset change.
Ken, please comment.
Yeah, it's interesting. In addition to being Mr. Chatty, if I see a homeless person, I'm moved by it. In many cases, obviously not all, these are veterans who served the country. Perhaps they came out with PTSD, and maybe there's some subsequent drug addiction, all that they've given to the country. And I agree, what fortitude to get up every day. And I don't care even if it's in LA where it's not 14 degrees, nonetheless, what they're doing. And I try when I can to always give them something, and I will say thank you to them. And I just hope and pray that things will turn around for them, that something good will happen. If it's just giving them something, at least that's a start. But I think it is so sad. I think it's an unfortunate failure of our society that so many people are suffering this way. This is America, and I just feel that we've got to do a better job taking care of the homeless. I think that we're seeing more in this direction, but it really has to be done. Meanwhile, as an individual, I do what I can and make donations to a lot of the organizations that feed the homeless. I think it's important, and I just do that as well. So I don't just talk about it.
And that's what Humany Mindset is, Ken, is doing what you can in your community. None of us are going to solve world peace. None of us are going to solve the hunger crisis in Africa. None of us are going to end a war, but we can all do something that will make our neighborhoods, our communities a little better place for our children and grandchildren to inherit. And that's the basic concept of Humany Mindset.
I want to bring to the audience attention here as we come to a close in the next few minutes. This program is unrehearsed and not scripted by design. And what you're watching is original. And I thank you guys for participating. Let's go to Ron.
And I would also, just following up on what Ken said, if you haven't seen it, go to YouTube and search on, it's called Newsroom Opening Sequence or something like that, the Newsroom. And there's a great sequence, 3 journalists on a panel speaking before a crowd of students at Northwestern University. And one gentleman, in answering a question, he says many, many things. So there's a line in there that reminds me of what Ken just said, and it's a great line. We used to, as a country, as American, that's what he's talking about. As a country, we used to declare war on poverty, not poor people. And again, that's the mindset change that we've gone through. This country has gone from, to, in my mind, a reverse mindset, a wrong mindset. We're declaring war on poor people now, not on poverty. And so if you have a chance to watch this, it's about a 3-minute, 4-minute segment. It really opened up your eyes.
Ron?
Yeah, two different topics come to mind. Yes, the homeless. I'm the kind of person I would like to speak with the homeless person to help them long term. In the axiom that you give them a fish, that they'll exist for a day, but you teach them how to fish, that type thing. I want to help the person find a job. They may not have the confidence, they have the skill set, and so forth. I do want to work with that person. The second type person is I have in the last 6-7 years, I have been mentoring. Marty and I both have been mentoring 2 inmates. An inmate for the longest period of my life has just been an academic term. Those who have been incarcerated and so forth, I've never known a person by name, but I'm very familiar with and very close friends with a person right now who's serving a 30-year sentence. And he is hopeful that he'll be paroled maybe in the next 2 years after having served 50% of his sentence. But he needs to be reintroduced into society to find a job and so forth. I'm mentoring another person who used to be a drug offender who is right now very functional in society. We've helped to reintegrate him into society. But to me, that's what Stephen is talking about is one aspect of Humany, to be willing to work with people. And if you have a talent, to just reach out with no expectation of anything directly in return for specifically remuneration in return. But if you reach out to people just wanting to have a heart to help people, that to me is what it's all about. And I think that's what a lot of what Stephen's book is about.
So, Stephen, the concept of Humany and combining harmony with other things. This is a question to you and then also to Ken and Ron about making a change in the workplace environment as a way of reducing the distance, the mind distance between the C-suite and the employees. That's what it's all about, isn't it, Stephen?
Beyond the workplace, though, and honestly, Ed, it's also on our communities, our schools, our neighborhoods, our shopping experiences. But yeah, it's to close the gap that we have as human beings. We cannot continue to allow what divides us as individuals to undermine what unites us as human beings and members of the Homo sapiens fraternity. And if we continue to allow the divisions that we all have between ourselves as human beings to escalate, the world that our children, grandchildren inherit won't be as good. Quite frankly, it's going to be harder for them. We're going to leave the world in a worse place. So my message is, start focusing on what unites us as human beings. Do the little things you can as a human being to other human beings, and at least create within whatever part of the world you're in a little bit of place for our children and grandchildren to inherit, and make the world a little bit better. That's all I'm saying.
Ron?
And I'm right on board with that mindset that we work maybe with just one person at a time, one family at a time, and yes, the rule of five and so forth. But I think it's again, just to reemphasize, for me, it's a matter of be willing to give to people without necessarily any expectation of return. And we may have to give a lot more before we see the benefits of giving in the mindset that Stephen is talking about. But I think as we persist, we will eventually see the positivity that comes from that. But we have to be able to have the mindset that maybe some period of time before we see the results we hope for, but we don't give up on the positivity of the outreach.
Stephen, what's the website people can look at?
The website's humanyleadership.com. I'm in the process of creating a Humany Mindset website at the moment. But the best place right now is the YouTube channel for people who want to learn more about it, or obviously go buy my book and read it and send me an email. Happy to talk to you about it. How you as anyone who's listening, if you want some tips on how to implement this in your life, I'd be happy to have a conversation with you.
Okay, thanks for being on the program, and congratulations. Communicator Award to Stephen Howard.
Thank you very much.
The creator and the author of Humany Mindset. And how many other books? 26, is it?
Yeah, 26 books in all. And I'll just leave your audience with a final thought here, Ed, about Humany Mindset. And it applies in the workplace as well as in your personal life. And it's just that you will be happier, more self-satisfied, and have greater peace when you give someone peace, P-E-A-C-E, peace from your heart, rather than a piece of your mind. And right now right now we interact with people. We're so willing to give everyone a piece of our mind. I suggest a mindset change is to give people peace, P-E-A-C-E, from your heart.
Thank you. Thank you, Ron. Thank you, Ken.
Thank you.
Thanks back to all of you. Thank you.
Thank you again, Stephen.